show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The two counts, always the best guests in Midwest. The two counts, wait time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Need to be Ace and JR, Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the two counts. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the two counts, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The two count.
The two count. The two count, where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of The Two Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Hello. You can hear me, right? Dude, it always trips me out that I can't hear myself in my headphones. Anyways, hello. Welcome to another episode of The Two Count. It is Big Ace with me. Top Shelf Thomas Chillstrom, minus the oldest man on Twitch tonight. He's down in Dallas, I guess, working. What is he doing? He's learning about TVs, I guess, down there.
New product launch or some shit.
What's up, HCW? I find it hard to believe he's learning about TVs at what time is it down there right now? What are they?
Well, it's our time. It's 7 o'clock.
Okay, so it's 7.
They're central.
Dude couldn't hop on from the hotel room. You did it with your family at Christmas.
Dude, no shit, man. Like this old timer just doesn't know.
Just saying. All right, we're gonna bring our guest on right now. One of our favorites, making his return to the show. You've seen him on here before, as well as you saw him on our Royal Rumble watch-along. Evening, Zach. And if you go to any First Wrestling show or some other promotions, too, in the Midwest, you'll more than likely see him in the ring. And I don't know if you saw this on the actual title of our show tonight, but it says the King of Indie Ring Announcers.
That's completely untrue.
John Maddening. What's up, friend?
But it also said this is the first time I've listened to the lyrics of the theme song.
Oh no!
It also said that the hosts are the best of the best. So I think it's just all lies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn it, John!
Well, it also said the best guests. So I mean,
see, we don't lie about everything. Pick and choose, man. What battles do you really want to fight tonight, John? Let's be real honest here.
I'm kind of sick of fighting right now.
There you go. See, let's have some fun. Don't be so brash.
I still argue, but my back is still killing me. I just I just got my soffits and fascia repaired. I know. It's a whirlwind life that you lead when you own a 1885 house in St. Paul.
What is this? Is this like the most odd humble brag I've ever heard in my life?
It's not like it's a $1.85 million house. It's just an old house.
Hey, you don't know what the market might bring, man.
Parts of it were in terrible shape, and we had to destroy it. We had to rip out some old bits and put up new bits.
Nice.
Tis the factor of the old house.
Man, I can't believe doing that shit in winter. I used to do a sighting crew, and they were like, "Yeah, we work all year long." I was like, "You have me till October."
They were here last Tuesday until the snow got too bad. I mean, the soffits and fascia guys came through, and they did their work over like 2 days, and then the gutter guys came. The gutter guys sounds like a cool, like, stable name.
Yeah,
but they came and they're like, I got a call from them that morning saying, "Hey, we're just finishing up a job here in Maple Grove, and then we'll be down there as soon as we're done." And I was like looking at the time and looking at the weather forecast, and I'm like, really, guys, but they showed up and they did as much as they could, and it wasn't much. But then they came back on Saturday and were here for about a half an hour because they ran out of a certain tool and they couldn't get into their shop that day. And
geez,
this is all about wrestling. I love it.
Oh, it's so good.
But
I zoned out on most of that talk, by the way.
Well, yeah, I assume it because I was talking. So,
what's that? I mean, I did say this was going to be a good one just because this is a suitable replacement for JR for at least the talking between you two. Because
I am crotchety. I may not be as old as he is, but I am crotchety. So
you have every right to be with your.
And isn't he I thought he was isn't he a comedian? Is that what you call a work trip? Is that a tour? Isn't that what you call a work trip if you're a comedian?
He's not a full-time. I mean, he and I are both paid comedians, but there's very few people that make this they really do it as a full profession, especially at the level that we do it at.
And to be fair, a lot of you guys just haven't gotten as busy since pre-pandemic.
Dude, I don't think it's ever going to recover the way it was before the pandemic, if we're being real honest. Because you can line up shows anywhere in town, man. Like any weekend, you could just jump on something, still get some kind of paid gig on a showcase, or find something to do on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. But fucking Thursday. But now it's like no good Thursday shows. Half the shit that was pre-pandemic on Fridays and Saturdays is gone, never coming back, and Sundays is like fucking ghost town for most shit.
Now you're talking about because you're in Iowa, right? Is that right? Or are you in Wisconsin?
No, he's in Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah. Jesus! Because I see. Maybe they're just not calling you back because I see people like at Acme all the time and over at Laugh Camp, and there's lots of shows. Maybe you're just not on them, or.
I used to be on a lot of the things in town. There used to be more clubs in town, to be real honest with you. I was a regular at Joke Joint and Royal Comedy Theater, and that was really about it.
Underground is still running, right? Comedy Cellar, is that what it's called?
Comedy Corner Underground. Yeah, I wasn't really one of their favorites, if you will. I used to work at Sisyphus too back in the day, but no longer. So they decided that I'm no longer a valid member of their comedy community, if you want to say it that way.
Was it the virulent racism or
it was the sexism? It was the sexism, Yeah, I said one thing. I was just like, I said broad one time, and they're like, "What? That's too far." I was like, "You didn't let me finish." I said Broadway, and they were like, "Nope, it's too late." I was like,
"Well," and the sad thing is, you were just singing a song from South Pacific, so
it's a bit of a stretch, but I'm glad you went with that one, John. Appreciate it.
Musical theater.
Ta-da! Jazz hands, everybody. Jazz hands.
Well, I'm going to bring it back to what we started with, and that was the headline of this show, the King of Indie Ring Announcers. I'll tell you what, though. You are one hell of a ring announcer.
Oh, thank you.
And it's always enjoyable to see you out in the ring. I don't know why everybody boos you still. I don't understand that one. But hopefully the shirts of you crying are selling like hotcakes.
They are. It's crazy. I got a store up on Pro Wrestling Tees now, nice. And they've been going pretty well. And the other one, this is not a John Maddening shirt, which was my first shirt. Those are starting to sell as well. I've been like running out of those original ones. And okay, funny story. I know let's sidebar this. Okay,
let's go.
Isn't this entire show is a sidebar, so I don't feel too bad.
We let all trains go off the rails here.
Yeah. So I got
most of the time.
I got these shirts. See, this is not a John Maddening shirt, which is
I got that one. Ah.
Thank you for your $20. Which is a parody of an old punk band T-shirt, Fugazi.
Okay.
And I got those, and I got them for the WrestlePalooza in January of 2020, and I made a good amount.
Mm-hmm.
And Brina, who was our merch person at the time, after the show, I came over, and she's like, "Oh my God, I sold so many shirts." I was like, "Oh, this is fantastic! Why did I wait so long to make a shirt?" And it turns out I sold out. I knew a guy who ran a T-shirt shop, and he said, well, we can also do some like women's cuts. So I did like a run of women cut shirts as well. And those sold like hotcakes. And it was crazy. So I thought, okay, we got another show coming up in March. I've got to get more shirts done. So I got a bunch more shirts done and a bunch of women's shirts there. And that show, my spot was right next to Orange Cassidy. So I made nothing. And then the world ended. So it was weird. And I was sitting on a bunch of shirts and giving them out for gifts, I guess. And then I came up with the idea for the second shirt and talked to Badger Briggs because she had just been injured and was looking for some work. And she's done shirts for some really cool cartoon shirts for a number of people, including Jordan and not Jordan Max. This is Jordan, just Jordan.
Just Jordan.
And Northern Force and Damon Spriggle. And I was like, oh, can you do this? And she was like, this sounds great. Loved it. Sent it off to another local shop. They got them back to me. I just started selling them, just mail ordering them.
Yeah.
And people were buying them and sending them out. And then I don't know. Eventually, I think they kind of slowed down a bit, and then all of a sudden, maybe you're wearing them around town, and people are seeing them, and that's why they're selling more nowadays. But then I added the Legos. So,
okay, do you have any of that around the Legos?
Yeah. I sold a bunch this weekend. So each one. So there's a couple.
Oh, that is amazing.
So each one comes with a random suit piece, a random face, a random hairstyle piece, a microphone, and a random accessory. So like this guy has I don't know why he's so freaked out because he has a trophy and like a Tom Ford suit, like he's Daniel Craig, James Bond.
Oh, I love it.
This guy has a nice black suit with a red tie. He's holding dynamite.
Yes.
And here's a guy here who has a popsicle.
Oh, that is awesome. that is one of the all-time great ideas for merch right there. I have to say.
Those smart. Are doing really well too. I've run out of the little packs, the little bubble packs, so I've been trying to find them from a local company that makes custom Legos, and I was like hoping to can I just buy some of the blister packs?
Let me just get your packaging, bro. I want to talk to you about, because I saw one of those that had the Minnesota Roller Girls logo on there. So I want to ask you a little bit about that. But before that, let's get HCW's question up here because he asked it a few minutes ago. What are your choices when calling a person to the ring? Like, how do you figure out how to go louder and longer on certain spots? Do you steer them to what sounds better or just tweak what they want?
It depends on the crowd. It's so here's another sidebar that you don't. So I used to be a projectionist, like a movie theater projectionist, back when there were projectionists.
Yeah.
And one of the
how old are you again?
Very. Not as old as Joe. It was the 90s. And then
it's true, yeah.
So one of the things I learned, one of the first things I learned is any quality theater, so not all theaters, but any quality theater will pay attention to how many people are in the auditorium, how many tickets they've sold, and they will raise or lower the volume of the sound system based on that, because people are sponges and they just absorb sound. And so I guess I mean this in two ways. If there's more people, generally they're going to absorb sound. They're also more people are going to be talking and yelling and stuff, but also that's more energy from the crowd. And you can, it's like, hey, here's Bill the jerk, right. Versus, hey, here's Bill the jerk. And it's fully dependent. And if anybody has special requests, we do those. Like Orange Cassidy originally was just like he says, just say I'm from wherever and whatever, and just be really just bored with it. Announce me like you're bored with it. And basically Jordan does something very similar. Is I build it up as like from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's just Jordan.
Yep,
it's Jordan. So it's one of the things I learned from doing Derby for a long time, and I think that's why one of the reasons that Eric grabbed me to do First Wrestling is you're there to put on the show to help the show move along, but you're not the show, and you're there to accentuate everything else that's happening. You're not there to be the center of attention, even if you're the only person in the ring and there's a spotlight on you and the only microphone is on you. Your job is to help the show be the best it can be. And I learned that from Derby, and I brought it into wrestling, and it works. So
what is that like? Tell me about the differences between doing Derby and doing.
There's really not much to.
Now with the Derby though, like, are you talking continuously while the action's happening?
Yeah, so that's
calling it while they're rolling.
Yeah, so that's a mix of ring announcing and commentary, play-by-play, color, and again, every league that does this around the world is different, and some of them fill up all the time, and some of them are very sparse with how they do it. It's dependent on the sound system in the venue, if it echoes a lot, if people can hear it, and it's dependent on what people want. You have to do sponsor raids. If you have to, what kind of information do you have to get in, or can it just be, hey, here's a fun time? Ooh, what a big hit, So I'm being Justin Roberts and Excalibur and Tony Schiavone all at the same time.
Right. How long have you been doing the derbies?
Well, I'm not doing that anymore.
Not anymore.
I did that from 2006. Yeah. Nice. 2006 through 2019.
Oh, wow.
So I think it's 15 seasons. Pardon me. And and then I've been doing wrestling since the first WrestlePalooza, which was January of 2013.
Nice. What do you like better, Derby or wrestling?
It's they're so wildly different.
Yeah.
And I had always told myself with both things that I would leave while I still liked it. Because with Derby, I was doing, there's a lot of behind the scenes type stuff that I was doing as well. I was the interleague coordinator, so I was setting up games between our all-star team and other teams around the country, around the world. Folks that travel here, places that we travel as well, and then doing just other kind of stuff just to help out the league. And I was burning out a bit on it, but I still like the sport a lot, and I just wanted to go out on a high note and say I still enjoy this, and I'm not angry that I'm here. So we still, go to the games. It's just funny because we can show up at, an hour beforehand or half an hour beforehand. I don't have to get there 5 hours before the first whistle.
Right. Yeah, that's a nice thing. What's up, Malice? Welcome to the show. You know what I used to do? I think it was in 06. I used to drive the Drive 105 van around Roy Wilkins when the roller shows were going on, just to throw free shit out the windows that said Drive 105 on it to the people in line. Oh, it was great. Such an easy job.
Glory days.
Dude, I had some fun when I was working Drive up there. Okay, so HCW. No, you can ask everybody in chat. Ask what you want, guys. That's what we do here. I'm done with my question. I'm trying to come up with. Oh, who was your favorite to ever bring to the ring? That's the point of that one.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Probably, you know what? Probably I would say, well, man. No, it's really rough because
Tom's giving you the answer. Or his answer. Tom's giving you his answer.
Let's be serious here. I got
this might not be good.
I got this too.
Nice. Very cool.
Moto Lucha is a promotion out of Milwaukee, and they have done beers featuring wrestlers before. And the funny thing is, they did one with Airwolf before he was old enough to drink.
Right. Nice.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool. So a lot of the younger kids who come up, it's really cool to be able to be their hype man as they're entering, like, because they've done probably a show like one of our outdoor shows, or a show at the synagogue, or a show at VFW or something. But the first time that they get to be on the WrestlePalooza stage is awesome. So I would probably say Dante and Darius, because I've known them since they were like 16 and 15 years old.
Yeah.
And they were these kids that I was like, I didn't know we were allowing these children here.
Right.
But just to see their success. Devon Monroe is, again, he's somebody that I met him he was in a park watching a show, and he went off and got trained and came back and did the work and got to come to WrestlePalooza, and he was so excited. He was so just over the moon thrilled that he had reached just that peak of his career. And then I suppose, you know what, the other one is my real arch nemesis, not top shelf Tom Shellstrom, but my real arch nemesis, the late great Pete Huge, because he was just a fun guy to bring into the ring, because it's his whole better than you kind of persona was fun. And it's always just fun to say, weighing in at whatever you weighed, I can't remember right now, and from your girlfriend's bedroom.
Love it.
It's just a fun. It's playing with the where you're from and how much do you weigh and what's your tagline, whatever. And then he'd come out and he'd just like haul off and hit me right in the ring, and it'd be hilarious. But
super hilarious. And I didn't know we were arch nemesises, but that's fun.
Well, I didn't want to think that we were. I didn't want to get a big head.
No, that's not really possible. It's already very large as it is. That's why I had to maintain a large physique, because I want to make sure it's balanced.
That's the reason. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mine is because I broke my back and I like gained 15 pounds in 2 weeks.
Oh, that will happen, man. When you can't move around, people forget. Like when I used to have a more physical job, and then I moved into an office job, and you try and do the same thing, but you're not moving nearly as much. Oh man, the pounds just come on. And I can only imagine when you're bedridden and you're laid up like you have been with this injury and stuff. And by the way, kudos to you. You came out to the Royal Rumble show. We appreciate you and Mrs. Maddening being there with us to hang out. I'm glad you stayed as quiet as you did, because I didn't have to put you in a corner or anything like that. You stayed humble, and you stayed modest, and you stayed, really to yourself, which is, something that I appreciate more than anything. So thanks for that, by the way.
And the donuts were amazing.
Yeah, about the mochi donuts. Those are the best.
Yeah, I didn't even have that until like the very end of the night, which is, it was so great though. So thank you.
That, and you brought the first wrestling beer.
Yeah.
Which was delicious as well. We enjoyed that. So that was a good time.
Doing really well for Barrel Theory. They've been selling a lot of it. It's been sold out at the closest store that carries it here every time I've been. And they had it actually. Eric Cannon goes to a lot of the wild games, and he ended up seeing it. It was there.
Oh wow!
So he had no idea that they were going to be selling it at the XL. So he was his gruff demeanor. I saw a little twinge of a smile underneath that.
Nice. That's awesome. We got some more questions here. How did you find your voice? What did it take to get the magic? Do you mentor up and coming announcers? Do you do play-by-play comment? I mean, I guess you did.
No, I did. I did
on the road. Yeah, but
I did it for Derby, but it's a different skill set, and one that I'm not as interested in, and and I know that I wouldn't be as skilled at it because I don't know every single wrestling move off the top of my head.
Right.
And just the ability to recall moves and different versions of moves. And that's a 5-star jumping family credenza.
Yep.
It's
good. I'm pretty sure I've made up names before our shows that I've done just because it's.
But it's a different skill set, and the people that do that are I'm very happy that they are there. I did a show this weekend. I filled in for Battleground, St. Paul, and I literally thought when I saw the number of chairs that were up on the stage, which is where Prophet and Rob Page generally do their commentary, I was like, oh God, did Mike, who's the promoter, expect me to do commentary as well? And then I find out, no, actually they're recording it, and then Mike, Rob and Prophet are gonna come back and do a recorded version of it later.
Okay.
Smart.
Yeah, because it
keep you in the ring. That's the biggest thing, right?
Yeah.
Boy, you know what? I don't know what's up with HCW, man. Apparently you're his favorite, which hurts my soul because he literally just told me earlier today that I'm his favorite on this show. But do you know what? Good for him. He's just saying that you seem like a natural with this banter between you and Ace, which is whatever. I mean,
what, Tom?
Nothing, rude. Man. Nothing. It's not anything bad. It's just literally, it's
John and I always have good conversations. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure all the conversations you guys have go real well. All those like after WrestlePalooza or whatever, you go up and you fanboy in front of John, and then he's just like, "Hey, thanks, kid," and then he just waves away.
We solved the crisis in Ukraine like 3 months ago, and they just won't listen to us.
Yeah, it's real simple. We just need to go in there and assassinate Putin. Come on, man. It's the playbook of the Americas, man. Come on. This isn't that hard. Maybe it is. I don't know how hard it is to get towards dictatorship, but
I will say this though, it does take, like, you can't teach someone how to be a host of something. You know what I mean? Like that's very hard to learn. Yeah. So that is something that does have to come to certain people somewhat natural. And like for you, 100%. And doing the roller derby. Now, did you have anything that you were doing before the roller derby in that capacity?
Really, just I did some just some like sketch comedy on like stage stuff, and I hosted the Gymkhana and the raffle at our local scooter rally, scooter rally. So that was really, and that's actually the reason that I got to do the derby stuff originally, because my wife and I were the first people in line at the first Minnesota Roller Girls event back in 2005, and we heard about it because we're down in Austin all the time, Austin, Texas all the time, where the modern version started, and we had kept on missing it when we were down there, so we never saw it, and we wanted to be the first to see it up in Minnesota, and we were. And then after the first season, or second season, they one of their announcers had to leave, so they just announced, "Hey, we're going to do a search for a new person." And they announced it at a league meeting, and I got like about 6 or 7 texts and phone calls within 5 minutes from various friends that were on the league that said, "Hey, this is a thing that I think you'd be good at." And I went to the tryout, and I got up the first time, and I totally shit the bed.
Mhm.
And when they cut everybody, I was shocked that I didn't get cut the first round. And I found later it was because one of the skaters, she actually was at scooter rallies, and it's like, no, I've seen this guy, and he can do better.
Nice.
He may not have been great there, but he can do better. Let's move him on. So thanks to Lydia Punch, I was able to do that for a lot of years.
Great name.
But yeah, just I don't know. It's being kind of loose, and I don't know. I think too, the reason that I didn't get freaked out by it was the first game that I did was their largest attendance game at that point. So there was no, let's do a little small thing first. It was like, well, here you go.
Right.
In the deep end. So
nice. That's awesome. Oh, that was already up there. This is usually JR's job to put the comments on the screen. Like this is not awesome for me.
This is why I sit back and just do, be the real draw and entertainment of the show. Is just to sit back and just let you guys worry about the fucking comments and shit like that. I'll just be the one.
Yeah, maybe if you took this more serious, we wouldn't see it as such a big goof.
Yeah, Tom.
Yeah,
I take this very serious. I run the Twitter, by the way. Okay. So I'm very serious about this.
I run the Facebook and Instagram. So
yeah, if you post on Instagram, it goes over to Facebook. Come on, don't try to.
That's not true though.
This up here.
I still do separate posts though for each.
I've also posted on Instagram. How about that? Shut up, Ace. Anyhow,
who does the TikTok?
No one. We have decided not to go the TikTok route. We are not trying to necessarily get 12-year-old girls as fans of this show. If they want to be, sure, whatever. But
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I think
probably not.
We really should get JR on it, though. I mean, he's the oldest guy on Twitch. He should be the oldest guy on TikTok.
There you go.
Oh God, let's not go that route.
Oh, it'd be so good if we could get JR to do a couple TikTok dances. It'd be the best thing in the world, right?
So,
yeah.
Yeah, he can't hardly move now. I can only imagine you try to get him to fucking dance. He's gonna fucking break a hip. He's gonna end up breaking the back without falling downstairs, man.
Hey.
Jesus. Yeah. All right. Sorry about that, John. No, not really. If I was really sorry about it, I wouldn't even fucking mention it. So I know you can take a joke. I think, anyways. Why not?
Is there one coming or?
No, I was just trying to rip on you. So thanks for that, though, man. Fucking self-esteem over here. Yep. Fucking grand.
There it is.
So obviously, Ace mentioned it and stuff too, and I don't know if we even touched on it the last time you're on here, but do you have any clue about why you're booed?
Yeah,
I still can't. I honestly, because I still can't understand it myself about why you get booed, especially at First Avenue, so much.
Yeah, it's literally the. It's literally the whole bit about what is I can't remember what's the experiment? Is it the Stanford Prison Experiment where you're given a button and it'll give an electrical shock to someone, and even though it's not actually attached to anything, it's not. There's a light that goes on in the next room and somebody screams. People are inherently want to go along with the crowd. If they're given if there is a chant, if there is a movement, like the fucking wave. Who thought the wave was a good idea?
Love
Just
it.
Standing up, I got my nachos and my beer at the Metrodome. and I don't want to, I'm going to spill everything if I stand up. The wave is the stupidest thing, and I'm angry about the wave.
I think the last time I was actually in a wave was at like WrestleMania 29 in New York. That's like the last time I've been in a wave.
I purposely stay seated and then I yell at people around me. Stop it! You're all looking very dumb right now. You're grown people.
But yeah, so in the early so before WrestlePalooza, there was still First Wrestling taking place at First Avenue, but it was much smaller. 150 to 250 people would come to these shows, and they were few and far between. But we used to go to a bunch of them. Some friends of mine and I, and then a bunch of the skaters, derby skaters, would go. And for the first 3 WrestlePaloozas, there was a huge percentage of the crowd that was derby skaters that knew me, and I would just please come to this show, because we only had about, I think, 390 people at the first WrestlePalooza. You can see there are photos that go around, and like you see the floor, sitting in chairs, and so we were just happy to have people show up for the first one. And then the second one, some of my friends saw me come out after the thing rolled, and they start booing, and people are like, boo. And then it just, if it happens twice, it's tradition.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's a good thing. It's a fun thing to play with. If we have giveaways from sponsors, I'll and I'll run it back and grab some t-shirts and come back, and then they'll cheer, and I'll throw things until I'm out of them, and then they'll boo again.
Yep.
It is weird when I do other shows and I come out and I'm not booed.
Right.
It's I'm not saying do it. I'm saying it's just it's just weird.
Please don't start that at the other shows. Oh, that's hilarious. So
I was just gonna say, because I know that even though apparently you and I don't get along, which
we're at odds, yeah.
I guess I don't know. I didn't think we were, but if you say we are, that's cool. Whatever.
But JR told me I had to. So.
Oh well, he's an old bastard, so I guess
he's not here to defend himself. So you'll believe it. So
I mean, he should show up in the comments at least. Unless he's out drinking.
No, guarantee
he's that much of a drinker.
He's asleep in the hotel room right now.
Of course he is. This is like a fucking. It's like a work vacation, if you will. It's a vacation from us.
When I used to have a shoot job, and I would go on my work trips, there were a bunch of we'd have trade shows, and there, I was in my 30s and up through my early 40s, and the kids in their 20s are so excited to go out and drink and have a great time, and then be on the show floor at 8 the next morning. And I was just like, I'm gonna go back to my hotel room. I'm gonna order in some food, and I'm gonna lay back. And
yep. Spread out on the bed, do whatever you need to. Yeah. No, see, I only bring up the fact that because I'm one of the few people, when I go to the first shows, I will cheer for you. I'm also one that will cheer for.
Why? Yeah.
They're like, oh, the redhead likes this dude. We're over this guy for sure.
They're like, look at the two gingers cheering for the ring announcer guy. We can't cheer for him now.
Well, maybe, but I also cheer for Darren Corbin. I also
nobody's perfect.
The first WrestlePalooza I went to, it was Flip Bros, which was Airwolf and what is it?
Angel Dorado.
Yeah, which is now Top Flight against the North as the main event.
Okay.
And I tried to get the "fuck the North" chant going, which it did very little. And then Ethan Page just literally held the ropes and stared me down. I'm just like, nope, we're good. We are good. We are okay. Thank you. I don't know how you found me being the one starting that, but okay. All right, fair enough.
That super
do your thing. Yeah, he's just like, it sounds like it's a ginger from Minneapolis. Oh, there's the guy right there. Okay.
We got another question. Are you a fan of the new announcers and them wearing hoodies of promotions and clothing of sponsors instead of suit and tie?
I don't care. I don't care what people wear as long as I just think it's weird to do it in street clothes. If you don't normally wear that and that's your ring gear,
Yeah.
Go ahead. But I don't know. I think that at least for me, a lot of getting ready for a show is, taking off what I was wearing before, putting on something that is for this show in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in some stand-ups that are like that as well, that they just like, even if they look like they're just wearing like a t-shirt and jeans, they're going to be wearing a different t-shirt and different jeans because it helps them get into a different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I don't know if that's true for you all, but it's that's what I feel anyway. I don't know.
No, 100%. When I used to do like the boxing and MMA stuff back when I was in my bar days of DJing, like for sure, like you'd put a suit on and get into the cage, and it's like it helped me feel the part way more than if I wasn't in that, which is a little hard because Madhouse, I love them, but they're like no suit. And I'm like, that's cool, I guess. So I'm trying to find my look for them.
Yeah.
But, which I'll figure it out this year.
I mean,
yeah.
as long as it's not like a t-shirt and jorts, I think you're generally okay with Madhouse. Just don't wear the jorts. That's all I ask.
Still continue with JR as a spy balloon, huh?
Yes, he's a spy balloon.
Hey, Mikey.
It's good to have Tovar here with us. Mikey, thanks for showing up. Obviously, you saw Mouse and Bryce earlier. Thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, hello to everybody in the chat room. Let's get into AEW Revolution. John, I know you like yourself some AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Big show this Sunday night. Man, I just can't all pay-per-views be Saturday.
I don't know. I kind of like Sunday. I kind of like Sunday shows. I mean, at the very least, when they are when it's on like a holiday weekend, like Labor Day weekend, having All Out on Sunday is
awesome.
Great because then you can have, you have all the indie wrestling in town Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then end it all with Effie's brunch on Sunday morning, and then you go into the big show.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I kind of dig Sundays. What I don't like is 2-day shows.
Oh.
I don't like 2-day shows. I think they're ridiculous.
So no WrestlePalooza for you? It is tough though. I mean, honest to God, when it's already 4 hours each night, and then it's like,
but that's the main.
And they're all supposed to be different matches too. So it's like
2 hour pre-show. Plus, I'm an old school wrestling fan, so I grew up with it being the biggest night in wrestling, not the biggest weekend in wrestling.
Yeah.
It I don't know, just lost some of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just talking with somebody, I think today or yesterday, about it. Who is it? It's Brock versus Omos.
Omos, yeah.
And it's like, why? And I'm sure that's going to be the main event one of the 2 nights. And it's like, why would you have your main event be the one that is not really interesting? I mean,
especially considering, Brock hasn't had a long match in a long time. I mean, anything more than 5 to 6 minutes with Brock right now is kind of questionable.
It's not even that though. Omos has just done barely anything and is just.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. I mean, can you really have a 3-minute main event? I mean, realistically, that's what you're probably looking at with those two. It's a 3-minute match.
This would have been a good opportunity to put a little more prestige on the IC title if they would have had him go with Gunther. You know what I mean? Having Brock go for that. Because Brock has not really gone for that ever since his first initial run. He's always in that heavyweight title champion picture. So, like, it would probably put some value on that IC title. And Gunther, I mean, you would have to have Gunther win.
Got to.
but and it would skyrocket him and that belt. And that's the thing I want them to do, is make some of these belts a bit more meaningful. Like, I really do, like, the IC title was a prestigious thing, and it was. You win that, you knew you were in for big things down the line. And now, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Revolution.
Yeah.
Revolution. So, all right, I'll just kind of go through some of these matches, and we'll see what everybody thinks about it. So it's going down Sunday night. First thing I got on here is Ricky Starks against Chris Jericho with the Jericho Appreciation Squad, banned from ringside.
I
love
this
stipulations.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I mean, didn't they try to do that? What was it? Not Jungle Boy, but I don't know. They were all in a cage and shit like that, and they still got the fucking key and got him down. And
well, there's
the key didn't work, so they had to like wriggle between the.
Yeah, all the skinny boys were able to get through. Like Garcia and Sammy and.
I mean, if somebody's banned from ringside, all that means is that they're banned from ringside and they'll show up later in the match.
Exactly.
And that's
referee goes down.
Yeah, I dig that. So,
and I've been to Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho. I saw the banter from this last week on Dynamite. I enjoyed it. Man, I think Ricky Starks is gonna be a huge star. Like, when he can get a title on, like a big title around him.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you saying the FTW belt is not a big title?
No.
Dude, fuck the world, man. Are you kidding me? Come on, dude. That's like a world title.
Face the wall.
I mean, I guess it is the FTW World Championship, right? Which is the fuck the world championship. Which,
yeah, and then you're doubling up on world, and that's just it's like ATM machine, it doesn't work out.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a double negative, almost like it's almost like fuck the championship, right?
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. See what Ricky Starks has up his sleeve for that. John Moxley and Hangman Page having a Texas death match.
I've been to Texas. There's a lot of ways to die in Texas.
JR might currently be dying in Texas as we speak. Could be happening. We don't know.
I don't know. I guess it's the best way to have a payoff for this feud. It was kind of a weird placement anyways, other than Page end up accidentally getting knocked out, and then they just tried to make a feud out of it. It's the weirdest way of going about, I think, building a feud. Mm-hmm. Is what one guy just happened to take a lariat right in the fucking chin, and then a forehead as he's trying to roll over it. Basically, he like landed on his head, knocked himself out. I'm like, it's a fucking byproduct of the business, man. I mean, again, I was just at WrestlePalooza. We saw Brandon Gore under rotate a flip out there and knock himself out. I mean, it's a scary situation when it happens. I don't know how you can build a feud off of it, though, but God bless AEW for doing it.
Versus the floor.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, Moxley messed up Evil Uno this week.
Yeah, that was a fun match, but I'm glad because it did make Uno, who is thought of as mostly like a comedy kind of goofy dude, right, made him look real tough. With the eye portion ripped out and so much blood. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I like it. TNT Championship, Samoa Joe putting that up against the returning Wardlow. All right.
Yeah,
I'm in. I'm in for it.
Yeah.
Well, two big dudes.
I do like Wardlow. He's one of those his storyline is one of those ones that they do this a lot, is they just stretch it out a little bit too long. It's like him kind of breaking up with MJF, the whole Julia Hart turning evil after the spray thing that took forever. Yeah. The whole, when is Jamie Hayter gonna turn on Britt Baker, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I understand long-term storytelling, but sometimes it just it's too long.
Yeah, you're very right on that one. And I had this conversation with my buddy Mike, who was also there at the Rumble watch along, and we talked about it. I just don't know what you can do with Wardlow, because the big payoff was him beating MJF, right? And then he did that, and then you put him in the middling title picture, if you will, and then he doesn't look great in that role, because even if he's destroying people, there's no real value add with the title going on him, because he could still just be a monster, and then you're looking at him towards building for the world championship maybe, but I don't know. It's just kind of got lost in the shuffle, because the TNT title has been kind of messed up since basically Cody won it back, or once it came off of Darby, just it's so weird. It got jumbled there around the whole Scorpio Sky, Cody, Sammy Guevara thing, and then I don't know. It just got too messed up for me.
Yeah. Well, we'll. It's still gonna be a great match though. Sabu lost his Sabu lost his my own tat. Yep, became the champ. ECW. Yep. No, you're good, dude. I remember that. ECW was good times. So we got the Elite putting on the World Trios Championship against House of Black. I mean, this is gonna be one of the best matches of the night, right? Should be.
Yeah, I think so. It's as much shit as the Jackson boys get. They still put on a really great performance just about every time, and the trio stuff is it works for me. I like it. I like that they've been teaming Top Flight up with our Fox to do some trio stuff, and hopefully they'll continue on with that.
That's awesome.
But yeah.
Ooh, good question, Bryce. Good question. Does Kenny go to WWE? Only time's gonna tell. We'll see.
Well, I heard this week that, I mean, because you aren't seeing FTR on the card for Revolution. They are apparently they're not scheduled for anything coming up because their contract is up in April, and it doesn't sound like they're getting re-signed, because AEW even didn't mention them in the Feud of the Year with Briscoes, or even Tag Team of the Year in their social media posts. So apparently FTR has been very upset by that this week. So,
but
maybe
what
Kenny too.
What can get people over being upset is a new large contract. So,
well, especially if FTR is more focused maybe on the ROH stuff, or if you allow them more freedom to go and search for other titles. I mean, I was saying for a long time, if you had this, working relationship where maybe they go or win the Impact Championships, or even work more with New Japan to get those NJPW Strong Championships, to add, the 8 and the 9 stars or whatever. So
I do like the idea of the traveling champions. That's fun. So, it'd be cool if they were just kind of like, they were Ronin, they were kind of like moving about and collecting belts.
Yeah, I mean, and there's other prestigious belts out there too. Getting like something like Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Tag Championships wouldn't be a bad one for them either. Or even the idea of going over to do something with in the UK or something like that. Rev Pro or whatever. So
I'm about to see a UK wrestling match in like 2 months. It's very exciting.
Really?
Yeah. Technically, it's hard to say, because it's so I'm going on vacation end of April through middle of May, and I'm going to be happening to be in England at the time that Effie's doing a big gay brunch.
Nice.
In Liverpool. So we're staying with at the beginning and the end of the trip, staying with friends in London, and then we're just gonna take a train up to Liverpool, and I guess ignore all the Beatles stuff and just go watch some wrestling.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Forget the Beatles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. I love going over there. That's good times. I'm very jealous that you get to do that. That'll be a great show. Effie throws some those big gay brunches are a blast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
it's on a Friday night at like 7:00 though, which is really strange. But it's going to be, so it's at 7. It's like 1 hour time, which is a good brunch time.
Yeah.
So if it's in England, though, shouldn't it be like the big gay tea party or something like that, or
gay,
tea time?
Full English breakfast. I don't know.
Bangers and mash brunch.
The bangers and mash.
There it is. Oh, that sounds like a good time. So House of Black's winning, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I mean, they got it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know. You guys might know before I do, but the World Tag Team Championships, the Guns versus the Acclaim versus Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Still one more team to be determined. Am I right on that?
Yeah, I think that's they figured that out tomorrow night.
Which, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's how FTR is on this, and I mean, it would be kind of nice to see them at least stick around, because I don't know if they go back to WWE if it really makes a lot of sense for them, because that tag team is still very heavy on the Usos, which they didn't really get a great shot before under Vince. So I don't know, but
well, the other thing too, though, is if they were going to jump ship over there, we wouldn't see them do anything until after Mania as far as tag team champions, because that's all planned out already. And I mean, right? So it's going to be Owens and Sammy after Mania who have those. Which, if that's how it goes, I mean, and if FTR were to go back to WWE, I mean, that would be a really fun feud to watch. That was FTR against Sammy and KO. But I mean, they're fun wherever they go. That's just the thing about FTR. Like, wherever they go, it's going to be good stuff. So, yeah, that'll be. I still surprised the Guns have the titles. That was still kind of a surprise to me.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I love the Acclaimed, I also like things to surprise me.
Yeah.
And even though the Guns are kind of a joke, team. They're there to put other folks over, but still, they're still quality workers, and they have really leaned into that, the story of them not being them being angry at their dad for helping out another team instead of them. I dig it, and I'm fine with them being champs. It's not going to last long, I don't think. I think I'm 99% sure that they're gonna lose it this weekend, but
yeah, probably. Yeah, but I mean, I like the Gun Boys too. They're good guys. Back was it 32? WrestleMania 32. We did WrestleCon for another company, me and a dude that I know. And our booth was right next to them one day. So we were hanging out with Billy, the wife, and the kids all day. And I actually have a picture of those two doing play-by-play in our booth of a New Age Outlaw match versus Too Cool. And the only one we didn't have there was Scotty Too Hottie. The other, they were all there watching it. It was pretty funny. So then we got Jamie Hayter, triple threat women's championship match. Jamie Hayter's putting it up against
one women's match. Great. That's awesome.
And
good job, guys.
Soho.
Well, it's a pay-per-view, right? So they're going to have probably the TBS title too.
But that's just it. How many others? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 other main show matches. One of which is up to an hour. It's just you can put another women's match in there. I mean, it's silly. I know that the division needs work and needs more folks, but you can't just put it to the sidelines until you have it build it up. You have enough people to do 2 quality matches.
Well, I think too, from everything I've heard, is that it's a TNT TBS decision to say only one women's match, which, to be real honest with you, because of the number of talents you have, I mean, I've seen Willow Nightingale in person. Well, Ace and I were both there at that show down in Rochester and stuff to see her, and she's a hell of a talent. Ruby's a hell of a talent. You have enough people there where Tony Khan should be able to push back on the network, be like, listen, we have talent. People want to see women's matches and stuff, so why are we not doing the women's matches? Why are we not trying to put 2 on or even 3 on a night? I mean, you have to have something build towards their championships.
Well, I do feel they'll have to put Jade on with the TBS title Just like we'll probably see Orange Cassidy in the All Atlantic title eventually. You would think make their way onto the show for Sunday.
Yeah, I think he's defending it tomorrow.
Okay.
I think against is it Hager?
Is it? Okay.
I think so.
So, well, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like Jade has to have a match just because of that title, but then also at this point, you haven't done anything to build it up. Who's she going to feud with? That there is no storyline with her in that title other than her streak.
Other than the streak.
The streak.
And it's like I like her. It's just there's no. I'm bored with it.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different on that. I was bored with her the minute she came in, but. Gimmick infringement. Tom, what's she doing here?
Well, she's showing off, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's trying to get heat with me. If she's
23, yeah.
I mean, if anything, hashtag top shelf. Make sure people know. But this is not the first time. This is not going to be the last time. Everybody is now ripping off myself and indirectly the 2 count. So call them out, everybody. I mean, we've seen Ospreay throwing up a bunch of top shelves. We've seen Paul Heyman do the motion. I've seen Austin Gunn throw up the top shelf motion. Come on, man. Like, this shit's getting deep, man. Even Bryce knows, man.
You just call yourself Rail and I'll be fine then.
Dude, come on, man. It's not about what you drink, man. It's how you perceive yourself and what you do. Okay, I'm a top shelf individual, man. You all know.
Run that $2 pop-off vodka through a Brita filter about 14 times.
Listen, man.
Got that
That sounds delicious, and I think that's how they make Belvedere, because Belvedere is the fucking worst vodka I've ever had in my life, man. You can talk shit all you want about $2 Kharkov or whatever, man, but Belvedere vodka is effing horrible. And that's
I thought that Mr. Belvedere would make a great drink, but
well, have you ever seen their bottles, man? It's like a Grey Goose bottle ripoff, and then just the worst fucking vodka. I swear to God, they put vodka through used coffee filters, and it's the fucking worst.
Why are you so poor?
No, man. If you go to any bar or any fucking liquor store, like Belvedere is literally a top shelf vodka, and it's garbage.
Yeah. I tend to stick with fine Minnesota companies such as Vicra out of Duluth. They make a good vodka, and Du Nord from Minneapolis. They also make a good vodka.
Yeah, and if you really need to, I mean, obviously you mentioned like Austin. If you really need to, go ahead and get yourself some Tito's.
Tito's is good. Yep. But you can
what's
get
that one?
Anywhere.
Yeah, what's that? Was it Prairie or something? It's like supposed to be organic.
Oh yeah, we've had that in here before.
Yeah, I've had a bottle of that
Prairie
before.
something. That's what.
Yeah, Prairie something. I their gin, not their vodka though.
Yeah. But Bryce, you're right. Why does everyone wants to rip off the top shelf? And see, Bryce and Shanky, by the way, not to derail us from the conversation, man, but it's really hard to call their matches when they're supposed to be the faces, man. I'm like over here, I'm like, all right, man, like they're top shelf all the way, man. Like, okay, but like,
because are you the heel commentator?
For absolute, yeah. I mean,
so you have to pretend to hate your buddies, huh?
I was pretty much down the middle the whole time between them and the Cowboys from Hell, because the Cowboys from Hell, Justin Deason and Aaron Von Baron. I mean, everybody who was in that match, that 6th person has been on the show, so I can't not like these folks, but
some of them don't like you though.
I know. Yeah, I'm aware. Thanks for reminding me, Ace. I've seen the results of the Tom game.
Are they like Pantera fans? Is that their gimmick, or?
I think it's just more like the idea that they're like outlaws
Cowboys from actual hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. I bet, was it a good main event at least though?
It was a great main event, and we can talk about that after we wrap up here with Mr. Maddening. Unless you stick around the whole show.
Okay.
Okay, he said. Twisted.
I need to eat more of my Totino's party pizza.
Get that party pizza, bro. Get that party pizza.
Yeah.
Which one is it? Is it combination?
It's pepperoni, but I added more pepperoni.
Nice.
Oh my God. You fancied it up?
Hell yeah.
See, that's a way of being a top shelf individual. Fancying up the worst of the worst, you know?
I wouldn't say worst of the worst. What are you talking about?
Okay, fine, the cheapest.
Pizza.
It's not
you nice. Don't talk bad about Jack's, my friend.
The only good Jack's frozen pizza is the bacon cheeseburger. That's it.
True.
Well, maybe. True. Agree to disagree, but Totino's is definitely the cheapest. So way to nice up the cheapest.
Hey, man.
Good for you, man. That could be top shelf too.
Quality Minnesota company.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
I can't hate on a guy who's is loyal to the brand, if you will, right?
Local. I grew up going to the Totino's, the actual restaurant over at Hennepin and Central in Northeast Minneapolis. So
nice. Hot? Does it taste similar though?
No.
No.
When it was funny when they started when they went to a rectangle instead of the circle, people were up in arms about it. But I had to tell them that no, the actual pizza that Rose and Jim Totino made was a rectangle.
Oh, that's great.
By the way,
didn't they change it back to a circle eventually
No.
too? No, I thought they did, and people got upset.
Yeah, hold on. Speaking of rectangle pizzas and shit, did you?
You can talk about your pizza shit again.
Shut up. And talking about Minnesota pizzas, did you hear about this Good Morning America fucking best pizza in America is rectangle from St. Paul?
Good pizza.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's apparently a Detroit style pizza that's done better in St. Paul. Like that's fucking crazy.
It's Minneapolis. There's 3 locations in Minneapolis. There's one at Malcolm Yards, there's one at Lynn Lake, and there's one in the North Loop. But it's
okay. But I think they counted the St. Paul one though as the best.
I don't think there's a rectangle in St. Paul. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe I'm thinking like a different list or some shit. We got a fucking raid from Red Beer. Thanks for the 14 people showing up. Look at this. We're fucking popular all of a sudden.
Raid. Last match on the card that I have is a 60-minute Iron Man match, guys.
60-minute Iron Man match.
Right. MJF. Is that how you would do it?
Yeah, probably. All right, just sound tired, you know?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
60.
This next match. Up to 60 fucking minutes.
Yes.
These guys will be tired.
Malice, you nailed it. You know what we're all about here.
Where wrestling meets comedy meets cheap vodka meets pizza
what
shit.
the fuck does that even mean?
This one?
I mean,
this one?
Uncircumcised eggs.
What is?
I don't know.
Gred the
I didn't
hammer.
get great in school, but my God, I would have remembered that in biology.
Gold egg layer. Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I miss the old man to pop all these up while we're doing this. It's making me lose concentration here.
Life is hard.
60 minutes, though, like we were saying, Iron Man match. Bryan Danielson trying to take that belt off MJF. Heated promos this last week with MJF. I mean, it's going to be a good match, like, right? It's just going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I just don't think that it's going to be. I don't think title's going to change until Double or Nothing or All Out. So.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
but
that's
who do you think it's going to be, though? Who do you think it's going to be?
Yeah.
Who's taking it?
Oh, you know what? I think it might be so. I think the match might make it so that that it's going to be like, oh, we're going to do a rematch of this, and yeah, I think Danielson will take it eventually.
Holy shit, we got a Tampa Terry sighting in the chat.
What's up, Tampa Terry? That's a great question. Great question. Who would win in a real life fight, Vince or Flair?
Depends on what kind of fight. If
the Grim Reaper
involved, Vince will win because I think Rick will just have another heart attack in the ring. And yeah, I mean they're both terrible people. They're both awful people.
Yeah, that's a good question, Malice. How coked up are they? That's a very good question. Because I think if they're coked up, both hearts explode 2 minutes into this match for sure. I mean, both hearts explode and all 4 quads explode, right? That's how that would go. And then there's just a heap of people trying to be resuscitated, and then lights go dark, and then you see WWE's logo, then, now, forever together. And that's it. End scene, cut it over. That's the end of the fucking pay-per-view, whatever it is, right?
That's the end of the company, everybody. See you later. Thank you so much for
thanks for supporting us, everybody.
There's your best fantasy booking of all time right there. How do you end WWE? That fucking match.
Oh man.
That's what
and at this point it would have been their second or third match, right? Those guys have had matches already anyways.
Yeah.
It's true. Fucking A. God, thank you for that question, Tampa Terry, brother. Like, holy jeez, man.
It's so funny to see the like I just laugh when you hear real life stories about how just crazy Vince McMahon is, but then you watch him when he's on TV and you're like, oh, he is just crazy. Like, he's just a crazy man. That's all this really is.
Yeah.
Dude.
My favorite is that he thought no one knew what burritos were. You guys ever heard that story?
He didn't know what was real.
They were like pitching something, and like someone in the room was like, well, what if he had like a burrito or something? And like Vince McMahon legitimately was like, well, no one will know what it is. Because he thought only like him and certain people he knew ate burritos. He didn't think it would cross over on
How long ago was this, by the way?
5-6 years ago.
Okay,
7.
So it was definitely in the time of Chipotle, Qdoba, and Pancheros.
Fuck all those in the time of Taco Bell and Taco John. So either way,
the entirety of Central America.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not saying all that. I'm just saying, like, as far as he doesn't think people would know based off of. I mean, there's been authentic Mexican restaurants well before Taco Bell, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I know that they've been doing their burritos and stuff too, but like, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like Chipotle, Pancheros, and Qdobas are built on burritos, and this motherfucker thinks that people don't know what burritos are.
Yeah, but this guy also is like he's in his own world, literally. You know what I mean?
I don't know if Mouse. I don't know if he would have said the poors eat burritos, but I mean, he might have. But then why would he? You know what? I don't care. You got to understand that for a guy who clearly has made money off of the idea, really off of poor people, over and over and over again. I mean, that's how. I mean, wrestling's not necessarily strictly for poor people. I'm not going to say that, but
please don't.
But any kind of live entertainment is generally built around people who, you know, the expendable income. They're not necessarily rich people, but you know.
Nice, Luke. Oh, that's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Vince McMahon's just a crazy man, though. Like, he really is. Like, who else on the world is, like, do you have to be afraid to sneeze around? You know what I mean? Like
Jeff Bezos. With that fucking bald head, it looks like he's definitely a germaphobe.
Well, and really, over the last 3 years, a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true. I get, like right after we took off mask at work, like there's no longer a mandate. If you sneeze or cough the wrong time, people are like, "The hell's wrong with you?" I'm like, "It's fucking allergies, dude." Fucking allergies.
I literally when it would happen around people, I would cough and I was like, "It's a wet cough! It's a wet cough!"
Right.
I just got phlegm.
Yeah. I sneeze and I'm trying to blow my nose because allergies. My eyes are watering because of allergies. I'm coughing because of allergies. Holy shit! There's a lot of dust in the air, man. Jesus.
Yeah. Like
I had to literally say to somebody like, "We should probably just go home." I go, "Because of allergies? I'll just go pop some fucking what is it? Xanax or whatever? Not Xanax. What's up? No, Sudafed. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. What if
Benadryl?
What if there? Come on, guys.
I don't know.
What do you think about that?
I don't know. It's crazy to think
about.
What
if there?
Sir. All right.
Sir.
What if there?
The Hollywood Reporter. They're talking about the Hollywood Reporter. The Hollywood famous trade magazine. for the movie
That's
industry.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. Let me ask you that. Wait. I have to ask how Cocaine Bear was. You mentioned before we went live that you guys went and saw Cocaine Bear.
It was like if the whole world farted at the same time, I think. No. Sorry, I keep on stealing things. No, it was wonderful. It was exactly what was on the tin. You know, it's one of those. So do you remember all the hype over Snakes on a Plane?
Yeah.
And how it was it was fine. You know, we went to a midnight show. We went drinking out, you know, beforehand, and we had a good time. But then I watched it again a couple of years later. I was like, this is not as fun as I remember.
Right.
Cocaine Bear is delightful. It's ridiculously fun. It's over the top dumb. It's one of those movies that is so dumb it's smart, and so smart it's dumb at the same time. And if I were the ghost of Ray Liotta, I would be thrilled that was, if not my final film, one of my final films, because he just comes in and just chews up the scenery. Everybody that's in it is just committed to the bit.
Nice.
And it's fun. Super gory. And it's just got a lot of folks that I dig. That Margot Martindale, who's just kind of this. She's one of those like veteran character actors. You see her, you know who she is. The guy that does those TikToks about IKEA. Have you seen?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He plays one of the paramedics.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He has a small role. What's his name from The Wire? Then O'Shea Jackson.
Yeah.
And Alden Ehrenreich, dude who played Han Solo in the Solo movie, is in it. Felicity, whatever her name is.
Carrie Russell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Banks directed it. The actress Elizabeth Banks directed it. Yeah.
Went from Pitch Perfect to this.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
I wish I was getting paid to say that.
True story.
Is so much fun. It is a fun movie. I dug it. Like, yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's hilarious that it says it's a true story.
Yeah. They have news footage from.
I was just gonna say, do they have like clips at the end during the credits of like the actual bear? Oh, in it, nice.
Like they have like Tom Brokaw talking about this missing cocaine.
Oh, this is amazing. I got to see this.
Yeah, it's super fun. The other movie that is coming back into theaters this weekend, which you should absolutely see, is an Indian movie called RRR. And it is a 3-hour buddy comedy, amazing action movie.
Okay.
I've seen it once, but just on a couch with a projector and a screen, but not in a full theater with a bunch of people. And this weekend I've got to go see it because it's coming back because of award season.
Okay.
It is the most bonkers action movie you have seen in forever. And I know I just talked about Cocaine Bear,
right?
But I don't know if you've seen any Indian action movies. It is like that, but dialed up to 11.
Okay.
It is amazing set pieces. It's just incomprehensible physics. And then the song and dance sequences, and the fact that everybody is so, in Indian movies, everybody is so sexed up. Like everybody is just, and the women are so beautiful and the men are so manly. And then when they get together, it's just this they get close to maybe a kiss and then they pass away. It's filled with tropes, but I just love it to death. And
okay.
If you get a chance to see it, you will not regret it.
Nice.
3 hours though, huh?
3 hours. It has an intermission.
Does it really?
Oh, that's good.
Or you can just bring like a Gatorade bottle.
Listen, if it's a full theater, I'm not going to be able to do that. You know that. Come on. What are we doing?
You too good for a Gatorade bottle there, Top Shelf?
I'm not saying I'm not, but if it's a full theater, I can't do that. That's indecent exposure in public. Come on, dude. Like,
well, it's dark.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm also this white, so I reflect a lot.
Pretty white.
So,
Yep.
I gotta say before somebody else in the fucking chat says that's all I know is that if I don't fucking admit it,
you're right.
One of these bastards is gonna do it.
I put solar panels on my house because you just like stand up on my roof.
I mean, I'm not really bringing in any energy. I'm literally just reflecting it. Then
reflecting, yeah, that's fine with me.
No, fair.
Oh, that's great. How do you like? Because I am not like a guy who watches a lot of movies or just a wide scope of movies, and you seem to be kind of a film buff. Is that a fair?
Oh yeah, I always have been. And I see
as far as
movies.
As far as these international ones, like, do you just go looking for them? Do you find them randomly? How do these things get in front of you?
That one has been getting a lot of just buzz on like film Twitter. Just movie nerds talking about it because it's just there's a lot of really cool Indian movies, and they're wildly different, but there's a lot of great action movies. And there's a lot of great period pieces and them dealing with the remnants of colonialism and fighting back. You know, period pieces about them fighting back against the British are super fun, and that's what this is. This is one of. There's also this again. You're gonna think this is nuts, but there's another fantastic 3.5 hour movie called Lagan, and it is about a cricket game played to determine the tax rate.
Oh my god!
Had to play the British, and I know it sounds thrilling, but I mean. I know it sounds bonkers, but it's crazy and it's good and it's just got such heart and it's got action and it's sports and it's the little guy fighting the big guy and it's super cool. If you are in a town that has an Alamo Draft House, that's another great way to hear about movies. Because they bring in a lot of weird stuff, a lot of like the Neon or A24 releases, and just a lot of world cinema and a lot of retro stuff as well. Like tonight, they're doing Training Day over at the Draft House over here. I just went and saw Chungking Express a couple weeks ago. It's if you pay attention to film Twitter, pay attention to just other people you find good film writers online, good film reviewers, and even if you don't necessarily agree with their opinions on things, as long as they write in a way that makes you interested in at least learning about a movie, that's all you got to do.
It is funny you bring up Alamo Draft House because the first time I saw Old Boy was at an Alamo Draft House, and that was kind of fucked me up because I was not drunk, but like that movie you almost have to be like once it hits at the end, you're like, God damn it.
It's a great movie to bring people to if they've never seen it or heard anything about it. Last time I played at the Draft House here, I went and these two dudes sat next to me, and they're like the guy that was right next to me. He turns to me, it's like, you seen this before? And I said, oh yeah, I love it. Have you? He goes, yeah, he hasn't.
Did like once it all kind of hits its peak, did you like look down the row? I'm like, Did you? Because
it's
not to spoil it for anybody, but like it's an intense finish, that's for sure.
Yeah, and don't even bother with the Spike Lee version with Josh Brolin. It's
terrible. That one sucks. I mean, in comparison, I mean it's
It's fine.
It's good,
but
it's good for what they could do as an American film, if you will, right? Like,
yeah, it would. But I mean, it's almost a direct remake. Any decision that he makes in terms of pacing, in terms of shot choice, in terms of changing up the story a little bit, is the exact wrong choice. Like when you're doing a remake or a localized version of something, and you want to change something, the only reason you should do that is to make it better.
Right.
And it did not work.
I like this question from Tampa Terry, by the way. So, what do you think is the best movie with a wrestler actor in it? And then he says brothers.
Oh man. That's a great question.
Well, Luke Duke already answered. Would say I think They Live with Rowdy Piper is because of the cult classic aspects of it, and just because of like when it was made and how not necessarily true it is nowadays, but how much if people were like kind of really paying attention then to see where we've come from then to now, it's like holy shit, man. Maybe we need to open our eyes a little bit more.
I really, you know what? I really dig any movie that John Cena is in, even the Marine, just or Shooter or whatever but like he is like when he's in a Trainwreck, the Amy Schumer movie, he is hilarious.
Have you seen the
timing?
Is it Cock Blockers?
Oh yeah, Blockers,
yeah.
Where he that's
beer
that
up his
great as well.
Chugs the beer in his butt. Oh, it's hilarious. But yeah, even the fireman, the kid, like the family movie where he's the fireman, wasn't horrible.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah,
I mean it's a family kids movie, but it wasn't bad. Is it a cop out to say like the Avengers just because like Endgame and Infinity Wars, you got Batista in there with
Batista in it. Batista's again. He's great in anything. He's great in Glass Onion that just came out.
Glass
that's
that good?
Fantastic.
Good?
Dude. Yeah, all those Knives Out movies are fucking great, dude. Like, however many they're gonna make, I'm gonna fucking watch every single one of them. They are fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that's the one where he's like, you either kill, like, sacrifice one of yourselves. Or
no.
Oh, okay.
That's Knock at the Cabin, and that he's the best thing in that as well.
Okay,
but a Glass Onion is another Ryan Johnson whodunit.
Okay.
Yes,
it's like one of those 70s Agatha Christie style movies where you get a bunch of like famous actors together and have them play a wild cross section of people. No, he plays like this like weird MRA guy who with a podcast, like a Andrew Tate kind of loser, and it's this whole mystery. This person's killed. Who killed this person? What was everything surrounding? Yeah. And Daniel Craig is again, he's another guy who came from the, more serious and action world and does amazing comedy. If you ever saw Logan Lucky, which is a movie with him and what's his name from Star Wars, Kylo Ren guy. What is his name?
Oh yeah, I know.
Adam Driver.
It's a Steven Soderbergh movie about a bunch of dumb people trying to steal millions of dollars from a NASCAR track during a race. And Daniel Craig plays this mad bomber who they have to like break out of prison to bomb something and then sneak him back into prison.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but man, you know what? I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it up, and I'm gonna say Glass Onion, because that was, I think, better than the original Knives Out, and Batista is fantastic in it. He was just in that that little Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special that they did, where it's him and Mantis saving Christmas. He's got the comedic chops. He is just an imposing figure. He's a fine actor, and yeah, somebody needs to put him in a romantic comedy. I think that he would do fantastic. Oh my God, Luke Duke 1776.
Actually,
yes, it's so good. It's so good. It's if you liked Knives Out, you will love Glass Onion. There's a great 70s ensemble mystery movie called The Last of Sheila that has a lot of the same vibes as Glass Onion, and it's just a bunch of great actors getting together, having a fun time. They obviously had a great time making the movie, and it's both hilarious and a fun mystery, even though it's turned on its head and it's not as much of a mystery as it's supposed to be, which I loved too, because a lot of people were complaining that it was easy to solve, and like that was the whole point of this particular movie. Everybody thought that it was going to be a very deep, very intricate mystery, but it's right there. And the fun of the movie is not figuring out the mystery. The fun of the movie is watching the folks on screen figure out the mystery.
Right. And actually, I watched Glass Onion first and then watched Knives Out, which I think is a better way of doing it, because if you never watch either one of them, I think that's the way to do it, because Glass Onion is fun and it kind of sets you up. So if you never saw Knives Out, then you don't necessarily know where it's going to go. And then going to watch Knives Out, it helps to maybe you can see it coming both ways, but like I think Glass Onion was done in a better way to tell that story than Knives Out. But I think Knives Out is an actual better story, start to finish.
And I like the fact that they're just, you can watch them in either order. They're not, there's nothing that says, hey, I remember that time I did this. And I really hope that as he continues to make these Benoit Blanc movies, that it stays like that. That hopefully it doesn't matter, the time frame doesn't matter.
Because it was just good. But also, one quick thing about Batista: go watch Stuber if you haven't. He was hilarious.
He was great in that.
Kamal
Nanjiani.
Yeah, they played off each other so damn well in that movie, man. It was hilarious, and I'm not really for like those buddy comedies all the time, but that was really fucking good.
Yeah, even in like one of my least favorite Bond movies, Spectre, he plays that kind of silent assassin guy, very odd jobby, but he does it so well. He's just, again, he's big, but he also carries himself with this very imposing, very scary demeanor, and even something that could be silly when he gets into a very small like supercar, sports car, and has to like basically shove himself in there and is driving like this. It's not funny. It's like, it is scary. Like, this guy is coming after Bond to kill him.
Jeez.
Yes.
What was the other one he was in? I think it was an Amazon movie. He's like a secret agent. The kid busts him.
My Spy or something.
Yeah, like I thought that was funny.
It was cute. Yeah.
And what's her name? Was
plays well with kids. He can do anything.
Batista.
What I'm actually surprised about, we have this question and Ace didn't once mentioned The Rock.
Yeah,
because you're such a fucking mark for him.
I love The Rock.
Thanks, Luke.
So I had not watched any of the Fast and the Furious movies until after the offshoot movie came out, the Hobbs and Shaw movie. That was the first one I saw, and then I went back and watched them in like in time frame order. So I didn't watch them in the order that they came out.
Smart.
And they get so much better when he shows up.
They do.
And I was super depressed that he wasn't in 9, and that it sounds like he's not in either of the 10 part 1 or 10 part 2.
Cena is though.
Yeah. There's a bunch of people that are in that.
Yeah, no. What was it? Him and Vin Diesel like don't get along,
I guess.
Yeah. What a shock.
I even like that Young Rock show.
I love
it's
that
goofy
show.
as hell, and it's silly, and it's totally whitewashes the WWF, WWE, but it's just it's fun, and people are, you know, the people that get to play these wrestlers back in the 70s and 80s and 90s to various levels of success. But like Colt Cabana got to play Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh, it was great.
And that was wonderful. You know,
dude, Dan, thank you so much.
The guy they have playing Triple H looks nothing like Triple H, but he has kind of the patter down, even if he doesn't have the body, he doesn't have the same charisma. The guy that got to play Mick Foley is good. They haven't done a lot with him. The guy that got to play McMahon is not great. But
so that's his name's Adam Ray. He's a stand-up comic. He used to do a podcast with Brad Williams.
Yeah, it might be the material, but man.
So he's also in. Have you ever seen The Heat with Sandra Bullock? And
yeah,
he's like one of the main bad guys in that. He's the one they try to switch the phone when Sandra Bullock's dancing on him in the dance floor in that movie.
Okay, I'll have to go back and check that out.
Yeah, he's that guy. Also, I always thought it was funny that the dude who plays I can't remember what his real name is in the show, Bruno, but who played now I can't remember his ring name when I had Harvey Whippleman.
Harvey Whippleman.
That's the dude. That's that Ryan like Pinkerton kid that was on like Punk as a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. I was like, damn. And I thoroughly enjoyed Becky Lynch's Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah,
I thought that was hilarious. She did great. And you know what? The Rock,
the whole party scene that they were all in, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you know, I really do like the Jumanjis with Rock and Kevin Hart. I think they were good.
Well, and Jack Black is just fucking hilarious in those too. So,
yeah, in the first one where he has to play the teenage girl. I mean,
have you read any of Mick Foley's novels?
I haven't. I've only read The Rock.
Yeah, he has a couple. He has I think he just has the two. One's called Scooter, one's called Tatum Brown, and they're both fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. In fact, what?
Oh, snap. Tina, how are you? Good. Thanks for joining us. Dan, good to see you. Yeah, Luke, we're here every Tuesday, 7 to 9, talking wrestling.
Yeah, Dan, thanks for giving out those gift subs, by the way. That's huge for us. We appreciate that. And then Tina, yeah, it was good seeing you on Saturday, by the way. Thanks for coming out to the Absolute show. I know MAW is calling you, but Absolute was probably a better call for you. Not to name drop anything that John wouldn't want to be involved with, but
don't worry. I listened to you, so I don't know what was.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's all good. I was just making a little joke, but it's fine. It's fine when they don't land. They don't always have to be winners. See, still not paying attention to me.
Someday you'll get one. I really hope so.
Oh, that's funny.
Stop talking to me like I'm a child.
Oh, that's hilarious. I gotta ask then, what is like some of your top movies of all time? Because I mean, it's interesting too to hear that you're a film buff and you were a projectionist.
Yeah,
like at one time was that a career goal? Was working in the movie like industry at all?
I'm trying to think. I think every job I've ever had in my life, I have just kind of just fallen into. I've just I was a big movie fan before, like in school growing up, and then I lost my job at the end of right before Christmas one year, and I knew the folks that that managed the Uptown Theater in Minneapolis, and they hired me there, and I got to run projectors and got to climb up that tower and change light bulbs and all sorts of fun stuff.
Nice.
Favorite movie? It's really hard because I just did like there was like this meme going around of like show frames from the top 4 movies that you've watched. Like how many, like the movies that you've watched most in life. And mine were Blues Brothers.
Nice.
Real Genius.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back and Fury Road. Okay. And I'm pretty sure that those are probably the 4 movies, the top movies that I've watched the greatest number of times. And Fury Road, only came out like 6-7 years ago, versus these others which have been out for 40 or more years.
Right. Yeah, Blues Brothers is a classic, man.
Yeah, we watch that at Christmas every year.
Oh, nice.
That's like our Christmas. We had because I was laying on this couch with a broken back. I didn't know was broken yet because I hadn't. I guess I did. I broke it the day before Christmas Eve, so Christmas Eve, and was hosting Family 1 on Christmas Eve and Family 2 on Christmas Day.
Yep.
And I got out of helping, which was nice. I just laid on the couch and had people deliver me food. But yeah, then we threw on the Blues Brothers, and you got to watch the 40th anniversary, or is it 40th anniversary or the 35th anniversary one that had the extended edition. So the movie was like, before it came out, the movie was like 45 minutes longer than the version that most people have seen.
Okay.
They did a cast and crew screening, and they showed the studio, and the studio's like, oh God, we gave this movie with huge cost overruns. Who's going to want to watch, a 2.5, 3 hour, almost 3 hour movie about a couple of white guys singing black music? So they had them cut out scene after scene after scene and shorten up musical numbers and remove small subplots. And they gave the pieces of the original film as gifts, as like mementos to the cast and crew.
Oh, wow.
And then years later, they go back and they're like, can we have these back? Because we're trying to put together the most complete version of this movie that's possible. But like there's just so many things that you notice when you finally see this complete version. Like you find out where Elwood gets the spray glue that he has in his bag. And there was supposed to be a point where one point in the entire film where you see the eyes of each brother, and you see Jake's when he's like on his knees pleading for his life with Carrie Fisher. You see Elwood's when he's he's at his job and he's quitting his job to go be in the band again. And like the scene where they go to the soul food restaurant and they're like walking down the street, and they stop and they see John Lee Hooker playing.
Yep.
And they stop and go, yeah, all right, that's cool. And then they walk along. They play the whole song.
Oh, okay.
And they're watching this, and it cuts to the band playing, and it's more of a musical movie and less of a movie about music. It's great all around. And if you get a chance to see this extended edition, it's totally worth it.
I'm gonna have to try to track that down. I'm gonna have to watch that. I love that movie already, but yeah, I want to see that. Definitely. I had a version of Caddyshack like that, I think, where it was like their anniversary one, and it was probably like 20 minutes longer than the original cut. I couldn't tell you what was different in it at this point. I haven't watched that VHS in so long.
Oh, Ted McGinley, please.
Oh man. All right. Well, we got Revolution. We did all that match stuff. Have you paid any attention to WrestleMania match announcing things?
Not really.
Yeah.
What I'll probably do, because I have Peacock, because I You know, I watch Quantum Leap and the new Night Court.
I'm a Parks and Recs guy, so that's why I have it.
And I really, there was a great show that was only on for one season called Rutherford Falls.
Yeah,
it was very similar to that Parks and Rec, Office, 30 Rock vibe, and unfortunately didn't get a second season. But what I'll probably do is same as last year. I will see. Asking the hard questions, I say.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a look and see what night sounds more interesting.
Yep.
And I'll watch that, and then I'll do literally anything else the other night.
It is a lot to ask of anybody for 2 nights. And again, we all know it's going to be about 4-hour show each night. And I think this year they got to split up the titles, right? So I think Roman's wrestling both nights myself, just because I think he has to. And probably the Usos are doing the same thing, maybe, but I don't know. But like, it's too long for both nights, anyways. 4 hours is a lot to ask for anybody, but to do 2 nights in a row of this shit, I couldn't imagine buying tickets for this shit and be like, yeah, man, I'm going to go to both nights and not be just absolutely fucking pissed off the whole next week just because some of these matches have been bad though when they've gone to this 2-night format, man.
Why do you think why do you think it's different? It feels different, at least to me.
Mm-hmm.
When you had NXT TakeOver one night and you have WrestleMania a different night, like how do you? Why do you think that because that felt fun, that felt different. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. It's 2 nights of wrestling put on the same company, but it has a different feel.
Yeah, personally, I think for how I was viewing NXT when Triple H was running that and they had the takeovers, it felt different because you weren't seeing all of the same people who, as much as they want to have the brand split, SmackDown and Raw were still pretty much overlapping with a lot of the same superstars. So then you start talking about NXT being kind of a different and like how it was branded. And some of those matchups had happened on indie shows. You know, we probably saw some of those matchups with First or you know, somewhere along the line. So now it's just you get to see that big fight feel, though, of the WWE banner. And then it's put in like, hey, just go do that same thing you guys did in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla or ROH or whatever, you know, like it just felt like it was still special because now the wider audience is seeing it and they're still fucking delivering. But then you go to WrestleMania, you're like, all right, I guess I can see Charlotte and Becky and Sasha and Bayley for the 3rd time this month or whatever, you know, like some of that shit they just reproduce until they get it right, or sometimes until they just find something special about it. But I don't know. I just think that would be a better route to take is NXT TakeOver, one night of Mania. Mm-hmm. Bring them back.
That was the hottest ticket in town too, man. I remember going to like Dallas that first year that they did out there. I mean, you couldn't get a ticket to NXT TakeOver. Mm-hmm. Like they were so hard to get.
I put it in another smaller venue, right? They didn't put it in the same venue as the main show.
No, they were running. I think then they were running like a college arena almost.
Okay.
Yeah, because
if we did it here, they would do like TakeOver at Target Center or XL Center, and then have Mania at the Viking Stadium.
Right.
God, yeah, because I mean, I know that
if they'd ever do it, big wish.
Oh, I doubt they ever will because whatever fuck up in the whatever I can't remember the name of it. The state, the quasi government organization that runs
the Metropolitan Council. Yeah, the guy who what do you
Metropolitan Sports Facilities Commission, I think.
Yeah. Sports and Facilities Commission. Yeah. So then the
guy when he said we had WrestleMania coming when we didn't.
Yeah.
No, I think we did. I think it was penciled in basically, but the contracts weren't signed. And this guy had, you know, I got a big secret. I got to share it with somebody.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's awful.
No, it was for anybody who's not in the know. Basically, it was just blew up where as soon as US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis launched, it was like, okay, so we plan on getting Super Bowls and the Final Four, just everything that was used to be coming through like the Metrodome, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and we're playing on WrestleMania too. It was like kind of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to like everybody is like, well, fucking, and then I think they moved it to fucking Tampa or something like that. I'm like, really? You got to put another fucking event in Florida?
I was at a Raw that fall, right before the WrestleMania that was going to be that was allegedly going to be in the Twin Cities. And when whatever city came up on this big screen during the commercial break, the place it was booed down. Like, people were pissed off. They wanted it here.
I was there.
Actually, I think it went
that show too.
That might have actually been the second year they went to New Orleans in like 4 or 5 years, because it was like New Orleans is like 300th anniversary or some shit.
Okay.
New Orleans,
I think that's what it was.
City, New Orleans is a prime city for Mania. I was there for 30, and it's just a perfect city for that type of event.
It's a terrible venue though, man. Fucking the Superdome is god awful fucking venue. I mean, I know it can host everything because it's like 100,000 people that can fit in that fucking thing, but it shouldn't be used for the Super Bowl anymore, and it shouldn't be fucking used for Mania. That's just my opinion. It's like an old fucking stadium though now, man. Like that's from like the Astrodome period and stuff too. That's again, yeah. You were in Superdome right after Katrina, yeah, when it was a homeless shelter.
That's why he's dry.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, John, before we start wrapping the show up tonight, because I ran into you a couple of years ago at the All Out weekend.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on All Out weekend? Does that eventually have to move to like one of the two bigger arenas in Chicago and kind of leave where it's been?
I hope so. I hate the Now Arena. I hate the fact that it's so far out of town.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that there is one entrance.
Yeah. So we didn't know that. Other people after that night have told us like it's the worst thing trying to get into that place. We were dumb luck, dude. We just walked by the front doors the minute the doors open, and people had already knocked the fencing down. So we literally just walked right in. We didn't wait in line at all.
There's a VIP entrance on one side, and then there's like the suite entrance on the other side. And then in between is the one entrance for literally everyone else.
Okay.
And it's awful. I hate it so much. And it's so far. It's so far out there.
I mean, it's really not in Chicago. That's the other thing.
No, it's in Hoffman Estates. It's 45 minutes outside of Chicago. They shouldn't call it Chicago.
Right.
Chicagoland, right?
Great. Fantastic. I'll take the Amtrak there. I'll fly to Midway and take a train up into the city. I don't want to drive to Chicago and then drive from Chicago or wherever the hell I'm staying out of Chicago to Hoffman Estates to go to this terrible arena with no cell service.
Yeah. Oh, that was the worst.
And there's we were on the floor. We were like right on the entrance ramp.
Oh, nice.
First two seats in the entrance ramp. Yeah. Orange Cassidy comes and like to start the show, he takes my sign that says Orange Cassidy is okay, and just like comes over and is like, I hand it to him and he just like walks towards the camera with it. But I don't know. It's not a great arena. I left during the what was it? Oh, it was the Big Show versus QT match.
Oh yeah.
I needed a beer, so I went to. I was like, well, every other arena that I've been, if I've had floor seats, there's a bar down here, and the ushers are like, no, upstairs. So you had to walk around, go up the stairs, past all these people, find a bar, get your beer, go all the way down. Yeah, it's not fun.
So,
but they're memorialized on the building, man. So it's important. You got history there.
Yeah, real important.
Well, and that's like a what, like 6,000 seat, 7,000 seat arena?
It's like 10,000.
Is it 10? Okay.
Yeah, that's why they went there in the first place.
And they could easily sell the United Center or.
Yeah, I mean they did for the CM Punk return show, and they did one episode of Dynamite there, I think.
Yeah,
and
and then Forbidden Door was at United Center. So I mean,
yeah.
If it's a pay-per-view, especially if it's all out, you're gonna have people who are gonna go there. I mean, we were all at Full Gear, and I mean that whole weekend, everything was sold out. Everything was huge and massive and stuff like that. I mean, people stuck around for that first show that was there that Sunday as well. I mean. There was somebody from Russia there or something like that. There's people who there's people who I knew came into Full Gear in Minneapolis from England that I saw at the bowling event that Thursday. Like literally, hey, you guys want to stick around until Sunday, man? Like if you can move your flights back because the first show is going to be amazing at First Avenue. Plus it's First Avenue. You guys got to see the venue and stuff, Yeah.
And we also sad we weren't able to announce it earlier, like right when the main shows were announced, just because people are booking their flights, and if you're traveling from a long distance, you're not going to change your flight by a day to see some unknown local wrestling show, even though we have a bunch of people.
Well, and that was the thing. Like we had some friends from Wisconsin that came. Some people I know from the Jericho Cruise from New York came all the way for it, and that was their thing. There, because we asked them all, like, "You gonna go Sunday?" They're like, "We didn't know about it till like after we planned everything, so no." It's like, "Oh, that sucks."
There were a bunch of AEW folks that hung out and just went to the show and were incognito, and it was great because they were able to come in and have a good time and watch a show and not have to work it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Are you planning on going back to that this year? All Out? Are you going to do any wrestling trips? Yeah. Are you going to All Out again this year?
If I can. I'm doing a lot of traveling this year. I have 2.5 weeks in Europe coming up, and then I have to drive out to New Hampshire and back through Canada for a thing. It's totally legal. And I have a friend.
If you say it that way, it doesn't sound like it's totally legit, man. But
it's
okay.
This not involved in human trafficking T-shirt is asking a lot more questions than if I hadn't worn it.
Fair enough.
I have a friend who is a national parks ranger, and she got assigned up to Denali for a couple of years. Nice. And I'm going up to visit her. And I just have a bunch of trips. It'd be nice. It's great. It's in Chicago because you can just drive down there in 5.5, 6 hours and be there, or you can just jump on a flight to Midway and get on a train. But if it's at now, I mean, literally, I think I hate the arena so much that if it's there again this year, I will think about it. But if it's at United Center, like, definitely I want to go.
Yeah, I'd like to. Man, I want to do it one more time, at least just one more weekend. Probably won't happen this year, though. We have now committed to the Jericho Cruise.
Okay,
in January, Tom and I.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna be on.
Yeah, I went on one cruise, like one regular cruise, like 13 years ago, and it was fine. I would do the Jericho Cruise though, but I don't need to be on a regular cruise, I guess.
Dude, the Jericho one is a good time. And it's like almost sold out, which I didn't think it would. So people must have really enjoyed the last one. I had a blast on the first two. They're going to Mexico and not the Bahamas finally. So that's also nice. So and Big Show was announced today, everybody. Big Show's the official, Paul White. My bad.
No more BS.
Right. The official first guest announced today for the next Jericho Cruise. So that's cool. Dan says 40 rooms left on the boat. Dan is our man when it comes to the boat. He's been on every one and every cruise.
Well, if you really knew, he'd know they were called cabins. So
don't start with this. This is the man who gets the belts, by the way. He gets the Jericho Cruise belts, man. So don't mess with Dan like that. He also gifted us some subs over on our Twitch here. So we appreciate Dan. Don't F with Dan.
My favorite part of this year's Jericho Cruise is when they listed everybody that was going to be on it, and they listed Darius Martin, Dante Martin, and then on another line, a couple lines down, Top Flight.
Yep.
Like, fill it up.
Yep.
More names.
Yep.
Hey man, if they're tag team, they're Top Flight. Otherwise, it's Darius and Dante, man.
This is true. Yeah, if you're thinking about it, pull the trigger, go get your cabin. It's a good time. It's definitely worth the money. So, John, what do you have coming up? Because we have a few. I know there's a few First Wrestling.
Oh
shows.
God,
One
there's
just
so
got
much.
announced.
Hold on, I should have had this ready because I have a list. Here we go. Things that are announced is on the 18th of March, sold out at the Lynn Lake Uptown VFW. We're doing a show that I'm not going to be at. So, hey, Tom can show up. He'll have a great time.
I have a good time when you're there too, man. Come on.
So,
I don't dislike you.
That is an all-ages show at Forest Lake High School.
Oh, so Tom, you won't go anyways. You don't like all-age shows.
Oh, all right.
Well, it's not that I don't like.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like.
I love the internet. This is great. I'm saying, would it change your mind if you knew that the Forest Lake High School was Eric Cannon's alma mater?
Well, and I know there's probably going to be a big cat, Bill Williams, a friend of the show. He's probably going to be up that way.
Yeah.
Or some of our other favorites from the show. Obviously, we know we love our First Wrestling here at the 2 Count. That's
the people that can avoid swearing. They're always good to have these all ages shows.
True.
Which is why Tom won't
go. That's April 28th. May 18th is a Thursday show back at the Uptown VFW. And then June. June is super busy for me. The 10th of June is Clutch Brewing, which is in St. Paul, the old Schmidt Brewery. It's an outdoor show. Then the next weekend is WrestlePalooza, the Pride pre-party again, the 18th. And then on the 25th, Heavy on Wrestling up in Duluth returns. And there's going to be you might have noticed there's some graphics that kind of show there's a little overlap that's going to be happening there. So that's on the 25th of June. And then, my God, we're not announcing any of this other stuff. I'm going to move it really quickly. Like, this is going to be it's going to be our busiest year ever for First. The biggest number of shows. There's a number of shows that are outside of our normal venues. Hopefully they're new regular venues for us. But it's going to be a super fun time. So just keep an eye on F1RST Wrestling on all your favorite and least favorite social media platforms. And these dudes over here on 2 Count will probably talk about our upcoming shows. Make sure you grab tickets because it's very rare that they don't sell out weeks or months ahead of time.
That's true. That VFW show, I think, was just announced. The one coming up, that was literally announced, and I think within hours that sold out because I was trying to get tickets for it.
It was a few days. I don't want to oversell.
I don't know.
It wasn't
I don't
all
know if it was,
show.
man.
That was crazy.
Well, that was great to be on that one, that's for sure. So, and I know we've been trying to probably bug you since the Mall America show to get you on here. So I appreciate your time, John. I'm not going to try and dig you anymore. So.
Then I'm just at John Maddening on Twitter and at John.Maddening on Instagram because I lost an old email address. So,
Nice.
So there is still a John Maddening Instagram, but there's like 5 pictures on it. So
is that the one that I've been tagging?
What's that?
Is that the one I've been tagging?
Oh, maybe. Who knows? No. You got the right one. At least time, yeah. And I sell T-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees under John Maddening store, and these little Legos of me at whatever show I'll be at.
That's right. Link to the Pro Wrestling Tees store is in the chat there, guys. So make sure you check it out.
I have a mortgage and lots of medical bills.
Yes, you do.
Lots of medical bills.
Good
guys.
Lord.
Let's go.
The American medical system is so screwed.
Yeah, right.
I have really good insurance, and still there's a bunch of bills.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Don't
It doesn't matter how good your insurance
Don't make
is.
Tom,
The
did
only
you have
insurance
anything?
that's good insurance is being a politician. That's about it. So,
Tom, do you got anything coming up?
March 10th, I will be back up in Coon Rapids for the OG Comedy Showcase up there with the headliner James Wells. And then I'm doing some podcasting here and there with other folk and filling in. And so HCW, Josh with HCW, I'll be doing his podcast, recording it sometime this week, and then releasing whenever. And then, I'll be back with Absolute on the 11th in Algona and the 25th in Waterloo.
All right. Yeah. Guys, you can catch me as well. I'll be at the Absolute Pro Wrestling Show in Algona, Iowa, ring announcing on the 11th, probably on the commentary table, I guess, on the 25th. And if you haven't already, guys, April 29th, get your tickets. Madhouse Wrestling. We're coming back to the Knoxville Event Center down there in Knoxville, Iowa. We got some good stuff going on already.
Hey, Tom, where in Coon Rapids are you playing?
It's called the North Bar and Grill. It used to be Willie's back in the day.
Okay.
So you know where Noka Ramsey is and on Coon Rapids Boulevard? Yeah. So where there used to be a Pizza Hut is now a laundromat, and it's that bar right there. So
okay. Cool.
It's also right across the street from a place called Pho You, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I love pho puns.
Yes.
Who
doesn't?
Called IFA. Come on.
Yep.
Top shelf right there.
Love it.
That's some top shelf stuff, man. Thank you, John. See, it's catching on. Top shelf hitting the world.
For you, baby.
Oh, jeez. Goro, first of all, where have you been all night? In JR?
He died in a terrible Zeppelin accident.
That's true.
I don't even mean the Led Zeppelin. I mean like
the Hindenburg.
Danhausen's blimp.
This whole show is just in memory. Watching Destiny to the streets. JR was in Dallas, Texas for training. For who's he work for? LG, Samsung, one of those.
LG TVs.
LG TVs. He's down there learning more about those. So JR will be back. Yeah, JR will be back next week with us. I don't know if I have a guest scheduled. I'll have to look at it.
We probably should have Badger show up again.
Well, yeah, actually we are. Sorry, that is what we're doing next week, isn't it? No, we're not. No, not next week. He's on the week after. Sorry.
Okay.
Because he'll do the show for the March 11th Absolute show. So, yeah, guys, everybody enjoy your night. Tune us in every Tuesday. Twitch and YouTube 7 to 9. You can watch it back on both of those channels as well. 2 Count on all the social media. TWO Count. Find us. Tell us you love us. Also, I had Briscoe Big A show. It's coming very, very soon. I say it every week, but it is. It's coming very soon. I talked to Wes last night. So watch for that. We will see you guys next week.